Good morning, Broncos fans. Hope everybody is having a wonderful morning as we, on Legends of Mile High, talk about playoffs. The Denver Broncos being prime candidates for at least a wild card, which is amazing. Thinking back to a 1-5 record and how awful this team was to start the season. But it is a reality. The Broncos are smack dab in the middle of the playoff race, and the AFC West title is not out of reach, which is another pretty amazing thing to think about after looking back how this season started. So let's chat a little bit about both. I think the AFC West title is razor thin, and we'll get into that. It's a tough one for sure, but the wild card spot and even the fifth seed is not out of the question. So we're going to jump into that. I'm going to check into Facebook here and make sure that we are live on all of these different platforms. And it looks like we are, so that's great news. No technical difficulties this morning, so that's more great news. But first, let's check into the chat. We've got David Yunkin coming in. Thank you for being here, David. Appreciate seeing you this morning. Saying good morning. The defense has taken a significant hit with the loss of Benito and PJ Locke being hurt, but VJ has done a hell of a job putting players in the right position. Yeah, it's been a magnificent turnaround by Vance Joseph, and I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. I wanted him fired, like many people after that debacle in Miami. He's turned it around, and kudos to him. And yeah, I do. PJ Locke being hurt, it seems like he's just playing out of his mind right now. And I really need him on the field. I need to watch him on the field just as a fan, but the Broncos need him on the field as a playmaker because he's been making plays. Benito being out, it does stink. I like what he's been bringing, especially as a situational pass rusher. But I think they could probably cover that up more than they can cover up the loss of PJ Locke, only because PJ Locke has been making some incredible plays. And they're very thin at safety. They don't have, for some reason, they don't feel like having JL Skinner activated. So they just want to stay thin at safety. So PJ Locke is highly important. But thanks, David, for coming in. And also, David, thank you for letting us know how you're feeling. He says, I got great news this morning. I no longer have to go to the hospital. My lungs are working at 85% now, so it feels weird to breathe normally. I am very happy for you, David. It's great news to hear. Thank you for coming in and saying that and getting healthy. So it's wonderful news all around. And if you can have that wonderful news and see the Broncos going to the playoffs for the first time in many, many years, it's going to be great for you and your family. So thank you. Dominic Martin's coming in saying, hey, Tom, mile high salute to my Broncos family. Congratulations, David. Absolutely. I feel like we have a battle on our hands tomorrow night. Go Broncos and Mile High Huddle for life. Yeah, this game is so it's important, for the win-loss record. But if they are going to drop a game, this is the one to drop. And I know it really sucks to say drop a game because if they do, they're probably out of the AFC West division title race. If they're going to have to win out to do it. The thing about this game to me, it tells them that it tells me and should tell Broncos country if they can go in and to try and win that they're actually contenders, right? They're serious contenders. They're not just going to squeak into the playoffs and then lose. Teams should be worried if they can go in and beat the Lions. So the Lions are a good team. They're mentally tough, taking after their coach. And yeah, you're right. It is going to be a battle. And you know what's awesome is so Orange and Blue View usually does Saturday night. Ron's not going to be there. So Luke Patterson's going to step in, and we're going to do a special edition of Mile High Insiders Gut Reaction right after the game. But also we really thinking about doing a, kind of a reaction during the game at the end. So let us know if you think that would be interesting to have some of your, your podcasters that you enjoy listening to kind of react during the game live. At least the last 10 minutes and see how it goes. So we're contemplating that too. So drop some comments. Let us know on Twitter. I'm on Thomas Hall NFL on Twitter or X or whatever. And Luke Patterson LP, you can hit him up there. So that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. And we got We've got Mark coming in saying, "Good morning, Broncos country. Tomorrow we dominate. Let's go." Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I am so excited about this team. Uh, it's amazing to think about how this team has turned around. And I tweeted this out, or whatever you call it now. That's not Twitter. That this would be must-see TV if the Broncos are playing their bitter rivals, the Raiders, on the last week of the year for the division title. After this turnaround, people love these comeback stories. This turnaround would also mean that the Chiefs had a meltdown, that they really had a meltdown, even more so than their meltdown after losing to the Bills. It would be people would be watching it, man. Their eyes would be glued to the TV. People that hate their Broncos would be watching, hoping that they can't pull it off. People that love the Broncos would be watching, hoping that they can pull it off. And then all the fans in between would be glued to see if this magnificent historic turnaround can actually happen. And it would be the biggest turnaround. If they won the division title after starting 1-5 and starting 0-3 and having that debacle in Miami, it would be the greatest turnaround in NFL history from my mind. And I can explain that. I'll write something up about it if it happens. So thanks for coming in, Mark. Jeremy Sean coming in saying, "Morning, Thomas. A lot of playoff scenarios with one easy answer: keep winning." Absolutely. That is absolutely correct. If they keep winning, I think everything's in play. I think the division title's in play. If the Broncos win out, the division title is in play for a couple reasons. Number one, the Chiefs have had their struggles. They've been 2-4 over the last 6 games. They seem to, we're going to see how they face adversity, because this really is the first time we've seen some serious adversity from that team. So we're going to see how they respond, especially after, the meltdown there with the refs and all of that. So that's number one. It's a razor thin, though. Like I said, it's a razor thin for that AFC West title. The Chiefs would either have to lose 2 games or lose 1 in the division. Broncos win out, because then that goes to common games. And that's why this Detroit game is absolutely essential to win, to get that tiebreaker, because the Broncos have lost 2 that the Chiefs have won. The Chiefs have lost 2 to 2 teams that the Broncos have beat. So it comes down to this Detroit Lions game, and obviously a loss in the AFC West. That will put them over in common games. So if they both finish, with 6 losses, and that 6th loss for the Chiefs comes within the division, that puts the Broncos in the driver's seat for the AFC West title. So that's pretty amazing. But I'll also say that the Chiefs have the easiest schedule left if you look at the opponent's win-loss record. They just do. But once this Detroit game is over, if the Broncos are victorious, then that switches. Then the Broncos actually have the easiest schedule based on win-loss. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But again, it starts tomorrow night. Don't forget, tomorrow night, gut reaction from us, and also the game just Saturday night. Don't forget, it's not on a Sunday. So thanks, Jeremy, for coming in. Appreciate it very, very much. All right. I'm going to check Facebook here to see if we've got anything coming in from Facebook that I missed. And a few others. We got some people joining in from Twitter, which is great. I rarely see that. Me joined. We've got Can You Smell It? He joined from Twitter. That's awesome. Great. I mean, it seems like I've got more people watching from Twitter than YouTube, which is interesting. But that's oh well. We got K Brox coming in talking about Delaren Turner-Yell. Man, I hope he doesn't start. I had high hopes for him. I thought he could play, but he just can't. He's a special teamer, and used very sparingly. So let's hope that doesn't happen. We got Alex Barrios coming in. I know we can drop this game, but winning out the last few would be so huge for this team and fans. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would be huge for the NFL. I'm going to tell you right now, it would be huge for the NFL because, like I said earlier, everyone loves a comeback story, and this is a huge comeback. If they can pull this thing off, man, it would just be amazing. It would be amazing. The rival fans, of course, would hate it, but that's fun too. So, and then just keep Punching comes in, says they cannot lose any from here on out all the way to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you're right. You never know what happens when teams get in the playoffs. They're getting hot at the right time. Now, I'll tell you this. I had the privilege of interviewing DeMarcus Ware yesterday. Excellent. Yeah, super nice person, great person, excellent interview. And he had some really good insight into the Broncos and their playoff chances, whether they're not a contender or whether they're a contender or not, how they can get into the playoffs, what the advantages they have. That's coming out today. It was pre-recorded. It wasn't live. So I will post that on Twitter. It'll be here on Mile High Huddle's videos or interviews, player interviews. So watch it. Excellent. The guy's incredible insight. And he's part of this Pepsi, the Super Bowl bowling challenge that's sponsored by Pepsi. That's going to be fun for fans. So check that out. We'll post the website for that. It opens up on Tuesday. You can sign up. So yeah, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. All right. Now don't forget about pizza though, right? Make Little Caesars the official pizza sponsor of the NFL, part of your game day, right? Talking about pizza and football goes hand in hand. I love it. And order some up, man. Order some up for this Saturday night. Don't worry about cooking dinner. Get some pizza. You can order online during our Pizza pregame 1 hour before and 3 hours after NFL kickoffs, plus all day on Sunday. And get ready for some football fun. So Saturday night, man, don't worry about cooking. Like I said, grab some Little Caesars pizza. You can choose your favorite Little Caesars pizza or pick the toppings you crave. Either way, you win. Now they have a plethora of different options for toppings. So pick your favorite. I have mine. Everybody has theirs. So don't forget about. You can interchange different whatever you want. It's amazing. And speaking of winning, everyone scores with convenient delivery or our in-store pizza portal pickup. So grab some friends and enjoy a few slices during the game. All right. Now we've got a few more people coming in. Mario Stubbs is coming in from Facebook. Good morning. Do you think if we make the playoffs, Tim Patrick would be back? No, Tim Patrick can't come back. If you are on injured reserve before the season, before that roster set, you cannot come back. The only time you can come back is if you are on the 53-man roster and then go on IR and wait out 4 games. So Tim Patrick cannot come back from injured reserve, even though we would love to see him back. But I think he's played his last down in the orange and blue, unfortunately. I don't think, unless he takes a massive pay cut somehow and wants to come back, I don't think you'll see Tim Patrick again. So, but thanks for coming in. Thanks for the question. Appreciate that. And of course, we got Michael Ronquillo coming in this morning. Thank you for being here, Michael. Appreciate it. One of the biggest fans of the Broncos and of Mile High Huddle. So thank you. Saying good morning, Thomas, on Legends of Mile High, and go Broncos. Thank you for coming in, Michael. Appreciate it. All right. And Michael's coming in with a pizza sign, pizza emojis. Thank you for that. Yep, absolutely. Don't forget Little Caesars. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the AFC or the AFC wildcards. I mean, we talked a little bit about the what it takes to get the team to the division title, which is going to be pretty tough. Unless we see the Chiefs meltdown, which will be awesome. I mean, I think a lot of even the NFL might be tired of the Chiefs' success. It's time to change over. But if they win the title, the Broncos actually have a really good shot at the 5th seed. And this is why. Number one, like I said, they have the second easiest path to the playoffs if you consider the actual records of the opponents. And there's 7 hopefuls really that are vying for this. Some of them are at 7-6, one's at 8-5, the Cleveland Browns. But the thing of it is the Cleveland Browns, the Broncos beat the Cleveland Browns, so they have the head-to-head matchup. So if they go in tied, they immediately jump them. They also have beaten the Bills, who many are projected to go to the playoffs now. They're kind of turning it around, and so it's the Bills are kind of a hot item right now. The Bills have 2 tough games left. So I don't know if they're going to make it. I don't even know if they're going to make it in the playoffs. But if they do, the Broncos have the head-to-head matchup with them. They jump over them as well. So the 5th seed is in play. Broncos win out. I think they get the 5th seed. If they drop a game, I think they still get in. It's the 6th or 7th seed. The only problem is the Houston Texans. They lost the Houston Texans, which was a heartbreaker really for the playoff seeding. But the Texans, they might be without CJ Stroud. They've got to play Indianapolis. Those are both 7 and 6 teams right now to finish out the season. So one of them is going to drop a game for sure. So I think the Broncos really are in the driver's seat of this wild card race. And even if they lose to the Lions, and I hope they don't, and I'm going to knock on wood for saying that, they can take care of business the last 3 games. I got to play. They got 2 home games basically, and after the Detroit Lions game, and one on the road, which is Las Vegas. And Las Vegas, they put up quite a few points on the Chargers. That was a crazy game. I can't believe it happened, but it looks like the Chargers kind of quit. And but anyway, so it's going to be a tough game. Broncos need to rectify that 7-game losing streak to them. That would be huge. And that's a big game. But otherwise, would be 2 home games remaining, which gives the Broncos an advantage. They play the Chargers, who look like they're pretty much done, and the Patriots, who I think actually are a little tougher than people are giving credit for. I know they only have 3 wins right now, but man, excuse me. I think that that game is going to be a little tougher, and I think that the Chiefs, it would be interesting to see if Bill Belichick has some tricks up their sleeves when they play the Chiefs this weekend. So we'll see. I think the Broncos are pretty much in the driver's seat for that wild card spot. But again, I want them to go for the division. I want them to win the division. I think they got it. I think they can. It all depends on how the Chiefs handle this adversity that they are finding themselves in right now. All right, Lawrence Rivera's coming in from Facebook. Thank you, Lawrence, saying, what up? What up? Let's get this Friday going, everyone. Yeah, I love Fridays. Fridays are kind of my favorite because I have this show, which is, near and dear to my heart. It's going to be almost 2 years I've been doing the show. Come May, it'll be 2 years, I believe. So I started off right, and then, you go into that Friday evening, knowing the weekend's here and football is right around the corner. But again, Saturday night, this is a little bit different. Broncos are playing Saturday night. It's like a primetime game. And Luke Patterson and I, Mile High Insiders, will be doing the gut reaction show. But again, if you just joined, we're also contemplating doing a kind of a live reaction during the game, towards the end of the game. So let us know if you think that sounds fun or interesting. I talk during the game anyway, so I might as well just do it with people listening, so that'll be more fun instead of just talking to myself on my couch. So I think it'll be a really good, really fun experiment to see how it plays out. All right, now I know people are always busy this time of year. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Enter Factor. It's a blessing sent from the football gods to Broncos country. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, and it can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. With Factor, you'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos. Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from more than 35 weekly, flavor-packed, fresh, never-frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences. All delivered right to your door and ready to eat in 2 minutes. This December, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. And this isn't a service for the holiday season. Factor is a way of life, 365 days a year. Head to factormeals.com/huddle50 and use our code huddle50 to get 50% off. That's code huddle50 at factormeals.com/huddle50 to get that 50% off. All right. We are back here talking about Broncos playoffs. And again, I'm going to remind everybody, interview with DeMarcus Ware from yours truly comes out today. Very interesting. And if you're interested in the playoffs, he had some great insights. So look forward to that. But also check out the Super Bowl bowling challenge sponsored by Pepsi. And I can't remember it's like superbowlbowlingchallenge.com or something like that. I'll have to remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact website, but it will be on the interview for sure. So check it out. It is interesting. Jeremy Sean's coming in, talking about the San Diego. Sorry, I still call them San Diego Chargers. They're still San Diego Chargers to me. I know they're in LA now, but and he says anyone who thinks ownership doesn't matter can see how the Chargers are cheap and didn't want to pay Sean Payton last offseason. Thank you from Broncos fans. Absolutely. Now, and I'll tell you, there's something up with that with the Chargers, right? The ownership, it's something because they have squandered Hall of Fame quarterbacks or potential Hall of Fame quarterbacks for well over 30 years. They had Dan Fouts, never won a Super Bowl. They had Drew Brees for a little while, didn't win a Super Bowl. Philip Rivers, who's borderline Hall of Famer in my mind. I don't know if he gets in, but he's borderline, but very, very good quarterback. No, for 16 years, no Super Bowl. You got to go back to John Huddle days. He was a quarterback for the San Diego Chargers for a long time, and he didn't start the season in 1963 when they actually won the AFC or the AFL title. So, I mean, it's well over 40 years with an AFL title to show for it, even though that quarterback wasn't even the starter at the time. So they know how to squander these excellent quarterbacks, and it looks like they're doing the same thing with Justin Herbert. Obviously, a very talented quarterback, but unfortunately just doesn't have a coach or team around him. So it is interesting to see, the Chargers always have that kind of hype to begin the season, and they always let people down. And I still go back to, I think it was 2005 or 6 or whatever, when they were number one offense, number one defense. And they had the worst special teams in history almost. And they didn't make the playoffs, which was incredible. So it's interesting. And here's Michael coming in with some tidbit of information. It was another scoregami game between the Raiders and Chargers, 63-21. Has never been done before until now. So that's interesting. Thanks for that. It was a beatdown, bad beatdown, and I hope the Raiders can do that against the Chiefs. That would be great. And then, of course, falter against the Broncos. Yeah, Jeremy's bringing back QB, Hall of Fame QBs, running backs, tight ends, defensive ends, all wasted. Yeah, the interesting thing, Leslie O'Neal, I remember watching him. He was such a good pass rusher and an all-around good edge player from my perspective, good against the run and everything else. And, he's still waiting to get in the Hall of Fame. I think this is his last year of eligibility, so he's going to go into the senior pool. It's a shame, but, I hated him playing against the Broncos back in the 80s because he was so good, and he was always popping up on the out on the screen to me. Luckily, the Broncos got the better of the Chargers most of the time. But yeah, Leslie O'Neal is a great player, and he's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame eventually, through the senior pool. I don't know if he'll be alive when that happens, or even if I'll be alive when that happens. But it's interesting. Tyler Brooks is coming in, ranking us. Some of us podcasters, I think. Tyler, thank you for that. It's great. I'm number 2 on the list, so that's good. It's number 1, Scott, number 2, Tom, then Chad, then Nick, then Zach. Really enjoy the show. Keep up the great work, guys. Go Broncos, Super Bowl bound. Thanks for that, and thanks for putting me on the list. I love this podcasting gig, but I don't have any illusions of being famous or anything like that. So it really is fun for me. And this show I love, and especially in the off season when we're really talking about history and things like that. So it's fun. We got Pearl Heater coming in saying good morning. Thank you for being here, Pearl. Appreciate it. And as always, thank you for coming in here in the morning. I know it's bright and early, but this is the time slot that I was given, and that's where we're at. All right. So Broncos have to take care of business against Detroit to really keep them in the playoff hunt, or the division title hunt. That's what I should say. And they can do it. I've got some stuff I researched, but number one, the Detroit Lions have been turning the ball over recently, and they have 20 giveaways. The Broncos are leading or tied for league in takeaways. That's a recipe for success. If they can stop the run game, get Jared Goff back there slinging it, they can get some takeaways, and I think they will, and that's going to put them over the edge. But the funny thing that I found is they have a really good defense against the run, but for some reason they cannot handle quarterbacks who can take off and run when they need to. And I think Russell Wilson might have something in his legs that help this team out more so than people might imagine. And he doesn't have to have a huge rushing game or anything like that, but move the sticks a couple times by getting out and using his legs. And the Detroit Lions have struggled with that. So I think there's a few things that the Broncos can do that people may not expect that might put them over the top. But of course, they have to go out there and play well for sure. Okay. All right. One more reminder. Gut reaction Saturday night right after the game. Possibly a live reaction as we're getting prepared for that gut reaction. So don't forget to tune in to the Mile High Huddle YouTube and check us out. It's going to be fun. Whether they win or lose, we'll have something to say. Hopefully it'll be a victory because that'll be even more fun. And then also check out the Marcus Ware interview that's coming out today by yours truly. I really had a great time talking to him. Heck of a good guy and great insight. So check those out. And if I'm going to check a couple comments in here. I know I haven't been keeping up on Facebook. So if you've thrown some support from Facebook, I'm sorry if I missed it. All right, we've got Lawrence Rivera saying when you can just drink coffee and watch this show. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I should get some coffee sponsors or something, or something to it's the perfect time to push coffee and on this show. So not that we don't have some sponsors or anything like that, but it'd be interesting, it'd be fun. I'm a huge coffee lover. So yeah, thanks to everybody for coming in. Look, I'm gonna end the show. There's really not too many more comments left. But just remember this, the Broncos, this could be the most historic turnaround in NFL history. If they win to the division, it definitely will be, but just going to the playoffs is definitely in the argument. I think the Broncos can do it. Back before the Chiefs game, that second Chiefs game, I said if they can beat the Chiefs and they can go into Buffalo and beat the Bills, they can make the playoffs. And I think they're still going to do that. I'm not betting against them. I made the mistake of betting against them with the Browns, thinking that they couldn't stop the run well enough, and they did. So I'm not betting against them the rest of the season. They may drop one, but I think they can. I think they have a chance to win out, which is amazing. To go 10-1 over the last 11, it's amazing. So if you're a Broncos fan, you should be enjoying this right now. And I know if you had said they should tank, get a better draft pick or whatever, those days are done. It's time to embrace what is happening. It's fun. It's fun right now. This is the first time I'm having fun as a Broncos fan in a long time. It's meaningful games in December, which is what the fans want to see. So just remember that. Have some fun. Enjoy it. Even if you were really into that, tank mentality, get rid of players, get a nice draft pick, things like that. Now it's time to have fun. Enjoy it. Really do. Just enjoy it. Tyler Brooks coming in saying, Tom, if Denver's in the playoffs, what team poses a threat to them? Well, I mean, obviously the rematch with Miami's just a really, really fast team. That kind of scares me. I actually think they could go back and have a rematch and beat them. But I think the biggest threat really is the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're a very solid team. They're playing really well. They've got some talent, and Lamar Jackson, if he can't do it in the air, he can do it with his legs. So I think that's the team really to beat in the AFC. And of course the Chiefs, even if they have a meltdown and, whatever happens the rest of the season, they're a dangerous team. They really are. But the others, I'm not afraid of the Browns. I'm not afraid of the Colts if they get in. The Bills can be scary. I don't think they're going to make it into the playoffs. I'm not afraid of the Jaguars. I think the Broncos can take care of business against them. So I think there's a couple teams that are just more talented. They're just more talented than the Broncos. But if the ball bounces their way, like it has been, talent can sometimes be diminished. So thank you for that question. Appreciate it. Michael Rinquillo's coming in saying, great show, Thomas, on Legends of Mile High. Go Broncos. And thank you for the support as always, coming in with Facebook stars. I really do appreciate that. And then David Youngkin's coming in. Great show, Thomas. Have a great day, guys, and stay safe, everyone. Great advice. Thank you, David. Keep healing up. Keep feeling better. We're glad that you're on the mend. So thank you very, very much. Pearl Heater, she's sending us off as well, saying, I came in late, but thank you for my AM coffee time fix. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Elias is also coming in saying, great show, Denver Broncos for life. So thank you, everyone, for coming in this morning. Again, don't miss Saturday night. It's going to be a fun one regardless. And I just hope that we're talking about a win in that gut reaction. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend and enjoy the game and enjoy the Broncos right now. Take care.